Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. Today we are getting into our EveryDollar app and we're looking at paycheck to paycheck budgeting within the app. It's a way I've created and kind of manipulated the app to work for me and actually show me what I have available for spending categories like groceries, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline, so I can have accurate numbers through the month. So if you are interested in something like this, stick around and I'd love to have you join me. Okay, let's just dive right into January's 22nd is today's date budget. My husband got paid last night and we're ready to kind of dive in and do the numbers. I want to show you where he got paid, how much, talk a little bit about what's going on with his pay. It's a little different this month, and then move on to where we're going to reconcile just the paycheck 2 period. So paycheck 1 I've already done, completed, moved on to paycheck 2. And now I have to reconcile what's over, what's under, and adjust the numbers so that when I go to paycheck 3, which is what came in today, I know exactly how much I have in every spending category. Now, I'm using the free version of the Dave Ramsey app. I like using the free version for the paycheck to paycheck method that I'm doing in here, that I've created and kind of made it my own. And I do that because I don't have to worry about transactions coming in later than the paycheck period. I've got a transaction that my husband actually purchased something almost a week ago, and it has not even shown up as a pending transaction in our bank. And I'm like, I don't know where the charge is or why it's not being charged. So he has to do a little research and call the company and go, let's figure out what's going on. Hopefully it'll show up soon. They already shipped the item that was purchased, so I have no idea what's going on. And I don't know why, but it may be just a wait and see thing. So that's why I like the free version right now, because I can immediately put in after the purchase exactly the amount. The issue for me, though, I transpose numbers occasionally when I enter my own information in. If it's coming from the bank, it's exact to the penny. The problem with the bank is they delay how long they get the information to the app. So at least with my bank, I use Navy Federal, and that's what happens. Okay, so on the 22nd, my husband got paid, which is today, and he got paid right here on this salary overtime reimbursements. I title it that just because I know it reminds me to think, does he have overtime this check? Does he have reimbursements? And it helps me keep that straight. So I know where to put all the money down below, whether it's savings, whether it's whatever. So he got a little more, $1.51, I believe, more than what he normally gets for his salary check. And I looked at his pay stub and pay statement. I'm like, okay, so this is good. This is your normal salary. He did get a raise, but that doesn't go in effect until next paycheck. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's a little bit higher than it was before. Before it was $2,269, and it was either 53 or 54 cents. Now it's $2,271.04. I don't know what the difference is or where their math's coming from, but they did switch from one pay company that processes the payment for direct deposit to a different processing pay. So it's a different company, and I'm like, whatever. But they were supposed to reduce this by $630 some because they overpaid by that and had the wrong numbers in the system the first time. They didn't take the money out. So I still have that money sitting in a savings account. I moved it out of checking. I thought they were going to take it out this paycheck, and they didn't. And then when they didn't take it out, I was just like, forget it. I'm just going to put it in savings. And then when they finally get it all adjusted, we'll be fine. And then it may be one of those things where I never really have to take it out of savings. We just keep rolling along because we got our stimulus check. And that's what this is down here. There's 3 adults, or no, not 3 adults, 2 adults, 1 child, all $600, and that's what was covered here. And yeah, so that's the 2 pays that's come in. That came in the first of the month. This came in, yesterday or today. And so I'm like, okay, we just still have this extra money. This is actually getting used in February, though. You're going to see a very large AMCO charge. That's where we get our vehicle maintenance and taken care of. I needed new shocks. It's a almost 8-year-old car. It's been cross country. It's been, through the mountains and down to Florida and back. It's been all over the place. So hasn't quite got to 100,000 miles yet, but it will by the summer probably. And so, yeah, she needed some work. So we got some work. Everything else as far as bills and stuff have come out, that's normal for this time period. Everything's normal. Nothing's changed. This is my Paycheck 1 spending. This is what we spent. And I'm going to collapse that because we don't really need to see that. This is my Paycheck 2 spending. Yeah, $155 over budget with 85 cents for a grocery household. Yes. It's a lot of money. And I think the reason being is I add the HelloFresh to it and still spend like I normally spend when I didn't have HelloFresh. So I haven't quite adjusted for the groceries that come with HelloFresh and our everyday spending. And I got more cleaning supplies this time around. I don't have to get cleaning supplies every month, but I stocked up on some cleaning supplies. So I think that's why that's high this time period, and that's fine. I'm not sweating it. Considering we had some extra money from the stimulus and things like that. If it comes out of the buffer of our checking account, which I keep a running log down here, as you can see, we're doing fine. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So what I need to do right here for my paycheck to paycheck budget spending categories in my EveryDollar budget, the only area I'm going to be working with is this spending area. This is where I keep my grocery household, my restaurants, my miscellaneous, my gasoline, and I've been tracking my unbudgeted. And as you can see, we've spent quite a bit of money in unbudgeted. Again, we spent last pay period $287. And that happened to be a class for one of my sons with the Ramsey programs. Amazon Green. Oh, ink. Yeah, I got some ink pens that I keep those Fricks on. I get a pack of 10 or whatever. And they're erasable pens. I absolutely love them. I was running out of ink, so I bought a big pack of those. Shirts. The men in my life needed shirts. So I just get no graphic Hanes or Fruit of the Loom really nice t-shirts from Amazon and socks and stuff like that. Home Depot, we needed shelves for Jack's room and all that stuff to display his Legos. Love that boy. And I got a power cord for their iPads. We got new iPads for the boys for Christmas. And then I got some graphic tees for my son Jack during this time period that were like Lego related. And I can't hardly find Lego related t-shirts that are not a child size, and my son is 16, so he needs a man size shirt. And luckily these t-shirt shop, TeePublic I think is the website, they sell tees from a lot of different graphic artists that just create their own versions of the t-shirts and have these graphic t-shirts, and they're Lego related. And so I had him go on and pick out some shirts. So that was kind of cool. So here we go. Now we're going to reconcile this. Now what I have to do, and it's a little bit different, I like to budget per paycheck how much I'm going to spend for grocery household. My max budget for the month is $1,000. So yeah, that's not leaving me a whole lot of money here. I have my notes off to the side, so I'm going to open my notebook here to make sure I do this correctly and have exactly what I need for the paycheck period. So what I'm looking for here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take just one by one, go through and change things. So when you click on your grocery household and you see all your transactions, you actually see not only what you spent spent over, but how much you actually spent. So that number is what I'm going to put here to zero this out. But then I got to release cash from this area because essentially this 155 I borrowed from this budget. It's only going to leave me $44.15 in order to stay within my $1,000 budget. Now, will I be able to stay within $44.15 by the end of the month? No, I know that. Will I be within the budget? Possibly, because we're not spending a lot in gasoline, and I still keep our gasoline high because if we ever go back to work again, if we ever get to drive and go places again, then I need to keep remembering the budget. And it's kind of like my little buffer now. This is like a buffer within a buffer in my checking account. So I'm going to change that number. It's $623.25. We just spent a lot of money on groceries. But we're under by $35 in restaurants. Usually if I'm going to spend, I am going to spend in restaurants. I'm not going to spend in groceries. And yeah, I've been able to keep that grocery budget under, and I am thrilled with that. So, but before I go on to my restaurants, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just delete this number. When you delete the number, it kind of changes everything. And there you go. See, it went from being over budget to $44.15 left of budget. That's what I have left in my grocery household category. Like I said before, I am aware that I am going to go over in my groceries for the month of January. And I'm fine with that because I know I have enough in some of the other categories that I'm not spending in, and that'll compensate for it. I'm not going to move the money around to make it look. I want it to look at the end that I overspent in groceries over the $1,000 threshold that I budget for it, so I can hopefully in future months keep it under there. But we will see. I've yet to do that, I think. And it might be one of those things I need to increase it even more. And it's just how we spend our money. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to see how much I actually spent. And I'm going to put that number in, $285.47. Okay. I still have that amount left to budget. And I'm going to go here to my restaurants. And I'm going to add that $35.42 to the $125. Make sure I'm right. $35.42. And there you go. $160.42. And does that work? Yes. So as you do this one by one, you're zeroing these out to reconcile these categories. But I want to carry it over to the next paycheck so I have that money available or reduce when I need to reduce for each category so I can stay with what I budgeted for grocery household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline. I don't want to increase it more than what I already planned. And every month I always plan $1,000 for grocery household for the total for the month. $650 for restaurants, total for the month. Miscellaneous, I think it's $550 for the month. And that's just like if we randomly bought shoes or ordered stuff on Amazon or Etsy, which is where we do most of our spending, Target or things like that, just random stuff that doesn't really fall in a category. That's where we take or spend out of that category and try to keep it within the $550 for the month. And then the gasoline is $250 for the month. When my husband was going to work every day and driving and not working from home, that's about the average we spent. And then I was taking the boys back and forth to school. We're not doing that very much. I only have to take them like twice a week now. So not a lot of traveling going on. Anyway, so in order to stay within those numbers that I planned for the month, I have to either increase or reduce these numbers here for the next week so I can see, okay, where am I over budget, where am I under budget, and keep those numbers moving. So the next one I have is miscellaneous, and I didn't go over budget in miscellaneous because I have miscellaneous on budget and I just moved stuff there that I didn't really you don't really plan for miscellaneous. You just allow miscellaneous to happen, and then you plan a specific amount for it. But then there were some high ticket items that I was like, nope, that's going to come out of the unbudgeted part because, yeah, Valentine's Day was coming, next month. My husband wanted to go ahead and order something. So I'll have it before Valentine's Day, which is really sweet of him. And then, and he may be gone for business and stuff like that. So we did that and a few other things. So, I have 2 miscellaneous categories. It's really weird. It's really weird. But one is for purposeful spending in the miscellaneous, and then the other one is last minute. We're like, oh, we have enough in the checking account to spend it, so we're just going to put it in the unbudgeted part. And it's fine. It's how we live. So this one's $12.79 under. You do see a refund here. I got an Amazon refund for something I purchased over Christmas, and it came so late, and it was actually decor for the house. It was a wreath, but it came so late that it was too late to use it, so I sent it back. They gave me my money back. I'm like, okay, we're all good. But it didn't come back until the 20th, so I was like, okay. But I'm just happy we got it back. So because it originally came out of the miscellaneous category in December, I just added it back in because without that, I couldn't put my Bible study in here, and then I would only had like $1, and then I would have been over budget. So I was like, I wasn't really needing it in the overall budget and putting it in the income, so I just put it there. Now you can do it either way. When you get a refund, you can have an income category for refunds if you do frequent, like you're buying things and you have to send them back frequently enough and you get cash back. You can create an income category for that, but I just don't do that often enough, so I don't do that. Let's go ahead and change this to the $243.88. Now I'm left to budget, so I need to put it down here in this one. And I'm going to add 125 plus the $12.79, and that gives us $137.79. There we go, back to an EveryDollar budget. And now gasoline. I got to fill my gas tank up. My husband doesn't need to. I don't know if we're going to spend any more gasoline for the month, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. It's just one of those things. $44.61. I have a big vehicle, so it takes a lot of gas. And excuse me. So $115.18. I'm going to add it to this $62.50. $5.18. There we go. So that's $177.68. All right, more than likely, because my grocery household is so low, is we will be withdrawing, not withdrawing, but these 3 spending categories, they're not a separate account. They're not sitting anywhere in a unique place. They're all sitting in my checking account. I just divide my checking account like you would divide up a savings account for sinking funds, if you use sinking funds, or if you had cash envelopes for sinking funds. I just do it electronically. And my checking account it's just one checking account. I really don't divide a lot of the money up because I just never felt necessity to do that, because I can visually see in my EveryDollar app here what part of what's left in my checking account goes to grocery household, what part of my checking account is part of restaurants and gasoline and miscellaneous stuff. So the reason that's the reason I have these categories, is because when you have a checking account and you're looking at a large number, you won't recognize easily how much of that goes to what you want to spend for the future. And a lot of times we don't focus on how to spend that money without going over and buying frivolous things that we may not have needed, or have impulse control issues. That was my issues. Those were my problems. I would just see, oh, we still have a couple $1,000s left over. It's for grocery household, so I can buy extra in groceries this time, or let's take a road trip and I can spend a little extra in gas. And that just really put us in a bind, because then we would have to use credit cards for emergencies, or we'd have to just have these issues come up that, well, I really wish I hadn't spent like $150 at Michael's for whatever planner supply or fun stuff home decor stuff I got. And then something pop up later. So this is how I keep in control of that. That's what Miscellaneous is for. If I was going to buy stuff for Michael's or craft store or something like that, I would use my Miscellaneous category, and it keeps me focused on what I need to, where I need the money to come out from, so that when I spend, because it's in a budget, I don't go over, and it gives me an opportunity to put money into savings. And that is the goal right now. When you start working and you're out of high school and you're in the job market, or you're out of college and you're in the job market, the first thing we should be doing, which none of us seem to do, is start focusing on savings. Because in the long run, man, the accumulation of little bits of interest, compounding interest, collecting over 50, 60 years of your life, man, it's easy to become a millionaire that way. It's hard when you're in your 40s and you're just starting. So that's kind of the position we're in, where we're just really starting to build up savings. So it's going to take us a while, but we'll get there. But these budgets really do help. Right now we're working on a fully funded emergency fund, and I think I have that down here. Yep. And so I have my $1,000 baby step one emergency fund, but then I'm starting my 3 to 6 month of expenses. Our goal is to save $36,500. That's 6 months. It's more than 6 months of expenses, but that is the magic number that made sense to us, that made us feel comfortable. And so I'm going to combine these together, and that is going to be $2,000. And then at the end of this month, we're going to put in another $1,000 to the emergency fund. And so for the next several months, any extra money that comes in for overtime, and any money that we have left over at the end of the month that used to be our snowball debt payment, which we no longer have debt. We have all our debt paid off, and we're completely consumer debt free, not mortgage debt free, but consumer debt free. That snowball payment now goes to be put into our 6 month emergency fund and get that fully funded. And once we have that fully funded, then we can start tackling the house and paying off the mortgage, and just keep moving and contributing to our investments and stuff for retirement. And yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting to go through all these little steps of progress to get to the bigger goal, which is to be able to live and take care of yourself at the last half of your life and have some fun and really do some enjoyable things. So that's the goal we're looking for. I'm trying to see here just a little bit about the savings. Like I said, the 6 month expenses. Travel expense, that's my husband's account for when he travels and he needs cash to pay for meals and stuff like that, or if there's a hotel involved and because he's traveling overnight or whatever. And that we have a little savings put away for that, so he doesn't have to interfere with the budget. And I just transfer, when he withdraws something, I just transfer that money into our checking, and then the company reimburses him back, and that goes back into our savings. He wants to do a Jeep lift. This is what he's got funded so far. Savings for home projects. We don't have anything going on right now. And then that overpayment of a paycheck, I showed you at the top where I said that he got overpaid by over $600. Well, this is where it went. I put it in here. I titled it that. I probably should make this a fund, because obviously it's not going to do anything but sit in the savings account, and it needs to roll over every month, and until we actually use it or reassign it to one of these other categories. So if it gets to the point where they finally get all the stuff adjusted for the paychecks, then I will decide whether it needs to go back into checking to cover the shortage, or is it just going to be a wash? It doesn't really matter because we have enough in our buffer, and we'll just leave it in savings and put it towards the emergency fund. If I'm going to put it anywhere, I'm going to put it towards our expenses for our emergency fund. Everything left over goes in here. So I'm not going to do a starting balance or spend, all that stuff this month. I'm just going to make it a little piggy, and there's the little piggy. Made it a fund, and that's it. So when this rolls over next month, and I'll show you that next week, you're going to see this amount be zero, and it's just going to sit here on this line item, just like our emergency fund. I don't plan to put more in it, but I will add. I will leave it at 1,000. When it dips below, that's when things will change. But and at the end of this month, you'll see me put. I'm hoping $1,000. And I'll make that planned, and that will come out of this planned amount here. And I'll leave enough in my checking account to cover the AMCO stuff, but whatever's left over will go to our emergency fund and savings. These are just placeholders for me to know how to see my money and make sure it goes to the right places at the right time. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I know I rambled quite a bit. I tend to ramble quite a bit, but this is how I just kind of jump in and do my paycheck to paycheck budgeting. My paycheck 3 spending period is ready to go. I know how much I have in all my spending categories. I haven't spent anything yet today, so I will be spending tonight. We always get pizza on Friday nights. And this will be until the 28th of January. I'm cutting off January at the 28th mark, and then I'm going to add 29th through the 31st as part of February's budget, just because it makes sense to us that way. And when you're running a calendar and you're running your paychecks, sometimes you'll have a little bit from the previous month days because of how your paychecks fall. That's just kind of how we're doing it. And it just made sense to us. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or comments or want to know something about EveryDollar that you may not understand, please leave it in the comments below, and I would love to get back to you and help you out. If there's anything else, just let me know. If you like this video, though, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, I do budgeting videos, I do pen and paper budget videos, and I do EveryDollar videos, and I do faith-based videos. So subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.